Welcome back. This is going to be a quick tech tip video that I'm going to do here and there, and they're just going to be little hints, little tips that I find handy that I want to pass along to my audience because I think it's interesting and it may help somebody. Maybe these already exist, somebody else already has a way of doing it like this. It's possible, but I just want to share my way of doing it. Well, anyway, the subject of this particular tech tip video is mounting a power strip such as this one here. I will get into a little backstory about this at the end of the video. I just want to get to the main gist of it now, which is how to mount this on the wall. Now if we flip this over, we can see that there's a couple keyholes in the back here. Now the first thing you want to do is find a couple screws that'll fit in there. Now I particularly like these pan head screws here, which are flat in the top and kind of dished in the bottom, and this has got a wood screw taper, which is fine because this is what I'm using here is wood paneling, and I have the wood studs behind it. I'm going to try to grab one of the wood studs hopefully, and you can see this fits right into this little slot, and then keyholes right into that little slot right there, which is what we want. And obviously it works for both because they're the same size, and we need to find the distance between these. Now let's say you don't have a ruler. You know, you're out in the field, you just have this, you're in an office situation, there's no ruler. You know, but you do have a piece of paper, you do have tape, you do have a pencil, you could probably even use a pen. But I'm going to show you an easy way to do this. We're basically just transferring these from here to the paper and from the paper to the wall. It's a real simple method. Again, this may exist someplace else, but we have the device here, we have a piece of paper. We want to take the piece of paper and we want to center it over these holes. Now you can probably see it through the light. There's a shadow right here. That's the hole underneath. There's one there and there's one here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put a piece of tape on both sides here just to hold it in place like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, it doesn't need to be located any which way because we're going to take this tape off. It's just to hold it in place right now. You want to make sure this is flat. What we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil or pen or whatever we can, and we're just going to go back and forth over this, and you're going to give it just light enough pressure so when the lead or the ball point of the pencil, or the pen I should say, whatever you're using, is going to make a little line. Now hopefully if I zoom in and show you so far what this is doing, you'll get a good idea of what we're trying to accomplish here. We're just going to try to find the edges of that actual hole. Like you can see right over here, this darker spot, that's the edge of it. The camera's not going to pick it up perfectly from this angle. There we go, that's perfect. Yeah, you can see now, this is where a little keyhole section is. So I'm going to go around all along like that. I'm going to find all the edges of this hole on both sides, and I'll come right back once I have that done. Here's both of them marked out. Now you can see it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't need this to be perfect. We just need this to work, period. This is exactly what we're looking for right here. Now we can just take this and we can do one of two things. We can just take it off as is right here like this and just tape it right to the wall, or we could flip it around and tape the outer edges here to the wall so we can see how it's going to line up. We can actually get a fit for how it's going to go. That's not necessary with this particular one because the holes are centered kind of in the middle of this section here, so we can get a pretty good idea of where it's going to go. I could still do that though because I think that's a good idea. We can see that you can't really see the holes from the other side of the paper though, so what we'll need to do is actually flip this over and holding it up to a light source like I have up above here, you can just line those holes right back up on the other side here and then tape it down the wall this way, so then when we remove it we can just see those holes. That's one way to do it, or we can just, like I said, just kind of hold it in place. There's a bunch of different ways, but the idea is we're just going to get this onto the wall so we can mark this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the actual screw dead center in the middle of this, and then we can slide it to lock it into place, and that's the idea. I'm pretty sure everyone kind of gets the idea of how to use a drill and make a pilot hole and put a screw in. And then obviously you want to make this stick out just far enough where it grabs this slot, and there's also enough tension where it kind of hugs it, you know. This has a wedge to it, so if you figure if this has enough tension, when you pop it in like this, it'll hold better. So I'm going to skip that part of filming, plus it's kind of hard to get to where this is going, but I will show you the before and after because I can get a picture taken. So we're going to go ahead and just mount that, drill the holes, pull this away, put the screws in, and mount it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take the picture of the before and after, and I'll be right there. And here we can see we have it mounted on the wall. This is the best angle I can get this at given the situation where it is. There's going to be actually a desk that pushes into this little crevice area that I'm kind of shooting into right now when I'm done with this particular job. And I have this set up as a kind of walkway so I can get in here and fix anything with the internet if I have to, just pull the desk out a little bit. But at any rate, that's right there in the wall. Originally I was going to put it right above this wall plate here, but like I said, because of the way the desk has to get pushed in, you can actually see the edge of the desk's right over here, and this actually comes back this way and it'll sit right up against it. So this gives me enough room just over here for all the wires to go into. Just above that I have a spot in the wall where I'm going to use the same method to mount a brand new cable modem that I have actually just sitting over here to the corner, right over here. We'll get into that in another video, but I have right above it a switch and a router. The switch is over here, the router is over here. The switch has keyholes on it, so that's the same kind of mounting routine, whereas the router just got velcroed to the wall. That's just a quick dirty way to do it, but at any rate, that's further than the focus of this particular video. I just wanted to get this power strip mounted on the wall. I did mention I wanted to point out some things in that strip real quick, so I'm just going to pull it back off the wall real quick and just reposition the camera. We'll go through some stuff. Now this particular power strip has a pretty neat feature to it. As you can see here, it says energy saving with a little on-off switch. You can see maybe this says master, controlled by master, which would be all these strip power outlets here, and then this one here just faintly says always on, and that would be obviously those two. So what happens, besides this being a regular surge protector with a power switch, is when you plug in the master, which in this situation will be the server, when you shut that server down, or whatever the master device is, all the other devices hooked up within line there, which again are those right here, these 5, they'll shut off as well. And now what that does is it actually takes your, let's say, your monitor, your speaker system, your printer, maybe you have a scanner or whatever other peripherals you have hooked up to your computer, it will shut them off. So okay, yeah, alright, so you shut your computer off, you shut your monitor off, you shut your printer off, but you don't actually shut those devices off. They actually go into a standby mode. That's why your little monitor has a little orange glowing light sometimes, you see, or they have different things that they do, but they're still kind of consuming electricity. This prevents them from sucking any juice. And what's nice about this one is it does have 2 always on outlets. So what I'm going to do is here, it's going to be the cable modem and the power supply that I have running the router and the switch, which is just one of those converted ATX power supplies that I make quite a few of. That way, by the way, using one power supply for those 2 devices, and maybe if I needed a 3rd or 4th device, just eliminates having so many things plugged in. Plus they're all 12 volts anyway, so what difference does it make anyway? But the other ones are going to be more like the monitor that I have here. I have 2 external hard drives which will get plugged in. Again, this one's nice because it has really far spaced out outlets. By the way, if you're wondering, I got this in Lowe's. It's CE Tech brand. It was just actually it wasn't Lowe's. I take that back. It was Home Depot. It was just one I walked in and snagged. The other choice that they had for the money, which they were both for $30, was one that had without this. It didn't have the energy saving, but it had 2 USB ports for charging. But where this is going to be mounted, you'll never get to them, so it was kind of a moot point. Plus this is actually replacing a battery backup that kind of went on the fritz, and that had the same kind of system. and I like that. Now, it's running on a server, so the server's always on, so you wouldn't necessarily need that. But this is also the same desk that I use as my tech bench. So if I'm not here and I do actually shut that server down, if I'm like, let's say, out of the house completely, it'll shut down all those other devices. Now ideally I would have one of these on my computer and on my wife's computer as well, maybe even one on the TV, you know, things like that. So you could like hook this one up to the TV and hook up your receiver, your DVD player, you know, your other things here, and then that way when that goes off, it would shut everything else off, and then you would hook up like your DirecTV or your cable box or one of those devices that needs to run all the time to one of the always on. That's, you know, just a real quick video description of how this thing works. So I'm gonna go ahead, put it back up on the wall, get everything going so I can get this desk back into spot, because I have other videos to shoot. And I just wanted to get this one out of the way so I can go ahead and do that. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching as always. If you're not a subscriber, please do so. That helps grow the channel. I noticed I picked up a couple recent subscribers in this last week. A couple of them kind of blew my mind, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little special video about that as well. And that's all I really have for this particular one. So thanks guys for watching. Have a great day.